Alright, what's up guys, it's Spiderwolf back for another Persona 5 X Phantom X video. It's not like they're used to that. So today we're going to go over the tier list here. You know, what characters you guys should be focusing on, right? At the start of the game here. So basically these are going to be all the best characters to roll for or to grab. So, you know, we have a lot of different options here. You know, some are going to be lower tier, the 4 stars, and some are going to be higher tier. So it looks like the 4 stars are going to be gold, and then the high tier 5 stars are going to be like rainbow, pink, blue kind of Tommy Candy kind of color. So we have a couple different options here, of course. You know, we got Joker up here, tier 0. We have Seiji Chitori as a tier 0 as well. We got Lufel up here as well. Yaling Lee, and then we also have Miyu. You know, so these are all the main ones in tier 0 that you want to go for. So it looks like Miyu here is going to be the #1 best navigator to go for, and surprisingly she's a 4-star, so she shouldn't be too difficult to grab, at least early on in the game. And then it looks like the best characters you want to go for that are 5 stars are going to be Lee here. I'll just call her Lee, and then also Joker. So these are the best two you want to go for 5 stars. Now, as you guys can see here, we have Anne, Morgana, and you know, Ryuji here, right? And if you guys don't know, you can actually get 2 of those 3 for free. And then you can actually, well, technically get all 3 of them for free from the standard banner, I'm pretty sure. But of course, you know, there's missions that you can do from just like playing the game and stuff, basically leveling up and all these. Like these missions here, the business plan, and basically you can get 2 of them for free. And so if you really wanted to, I think you could get all 3 of them for free, but like in terms of like, you know, best characters to go for, right? Probably just want to go for Anne and Morgana. These are probably the main 2 you want to go for from that list, and then that's pretty much it, you know. I mean, basically everybody, let's say in tier 1 and up, is worth pulling for, though I would recommend probably only focusing on the tier 0 characters, which I mean at this point you could kind of build like your general team, right, from tier 0.5 to tier 0 here. So these are the best characters to go for. Joker being your DPS here, Seiji also being your DPS, and then Lufu here is going to be your sustain character, which is like your healer or tank or whatever, or I mean like shield or whatever. And then you have your support character, which is going to be like your buffer. That's what Yaling here is for. And then you have me here being your navigator. So that's pretty much about that, you know. You know, we can take a look at them, what they do. They don't have too much information on Pride Run currently, so we can't really see too much of what they do. But these are also all the free characters. So Lufel is free. So that's good. You know, you get a really good buffer right away. We get Kotokono here, which I definitely did not say her name right. She's a decent DPS character, but not really someone you want to focus on. We have Arai here, someone else is not really something you have to worry about. Kaio, which is actually a decent navigator, so if you know, you can run Kaio instead. And then everybody else here is kind of whatever. And then you also have, yeah, these other characters here, Skull, Panther, and Mona here. So how to obtain a win, main story chapter 3. Let's see, so Skull is one of the 3 free characters you can select from the Phantom Themes of Heart Contract and Lufu's business plan. Yeah, and they basically go into what he does. He's a single target DPS character. He's worth investing to because he can brute force many single target fights, and his 5-star weapon is available for free from the business plan. If you guys don't know, yeah, you can also choose 1 free 5-star weapon from the business plan, so you can focus on which character of these you want to go for. Panther's another great option as well. Arguably might be honestly a bit better. She requires very little to enable her damage capabilities, and only needing foes to have burn applied to them. Her only issue is uncontrollable in nature of when her burst turn goes off, needing to plan your skills with that in mind. She's quick and reliable AoE DPS, very good choice for palace and mental fights which are AoE based, and her 5-star weapon of course is also worth buying. Then we have Mona here, who is a support character, or like healer technically. He's a healer that can crit heal on assault healing, and then his skill 2 dispels elemental elements, which is pretty nice. Always love that in games. And his skill 3 can miss but has an increased crit rate, and his ultimate is one of the few ways he can revive dead party members. So you can that can revive dead party members, so this guy can also revive. So yeah, Mona or Morgana here, very good. But he shares the same weakness as Kato, that they are both healers with raw HP scaling as their only sub form sustain. Well, you can select both him and if his 5-star weapon for free is not recommended to do so, as Kato can do his job just as well. You should never be in a spot where the revive is needed, and Kato even in a slight upside being able to buff attack. So basically they're just saying, yeah, Morgana's not too bad, but you probably don't really need to worry about him because you could be running someone else called Kato here, who is honestly better. I'm not sure, unless Kato someone on CN. And if you guys are also curious, this is what the CN tier list is looking like, right? Oh, I guess also real quick before we look into CN any further, there's difference, right? So these are the best characters to go for, or the best characters just for general content once global does release. However, there's also a boss section, which, as you guys can see, some characters move up and down. So we have someone like Shun here, who's actually better than Luffy, but he's also free. So you know, don't worry about him, man. He's free. Joker is still on top. Ryuji actually bumps up a lot more because he's a boss character, right? And then Seiji here actually goes down instead, right? So that's pretty interesting. And then we have someone named Leo here, who's actually in the actually no, Leo's actually in tier 0, never mind. So yeah, Leo's like a really good character regardless. So Leo's another great character as a support character, arguably maybe a little bit better. But yeah, he basically jumps up quite a bit. And then yeah, Lee, you know, went from, you know, tier 0 to tier 0.5, which is still really good. However, it looks like, according, you know, we'll look at CN in a bit, but it looks like some characters might be more, you know, more worthwhile because some characters might fall off quite a bit, you know. And then this character Haruna here, you know, she was tier 1 for general, but then in bosses she's a lot better at tier 0.5. And then Kaio's actually a lot better for bosses than Miyu here, so there's something to keep that in mind as well. And some other characters here are just like not great regardless, right? So definitely, you know, when you make, you know, when the game does launch, you know, Joker will be available to summon for, most likely who you want to reroll for, on top of anything else. And we'll get to reroll process in the next video, of course. We'll be talking about that, and I'll go back to this, but you know, this is mainly to the tier list video, basically going over who the best characters are. That's pretty much that. Now here is the general CN tier list. So clearly, you know, a lot more a lot more premium characters in tier 0 and tier 0.5. So we have the main character from Persona 3, we have some summer character, or like one summer character here, and then a whole bunch of new characters here as well, another summer character here. So we have a new, let's see, so this is, so it looks like this Arai character is going to be our new AoE DPS character, and then the Persona 3 protagonist is going to be the newest best single target character for damage dealer. And then same thing here, so a new version of Yao Lin comes out. She's really good as an AoE, and then this guy called Kira is also really good single target. And then On is still, oh yeah, On is still really good. So yeah, On doesn't really fall off that well, so On is definitely a great character to go for in the long run, because On does stick around for quite a bit. She's still really good, so she's a great character to still go for. Sadly Makoto is kind of not that great. Kind of sucks because I like Makoto. What is it? Ryuji does sadly fall off quite a bit though. At least for general content, right? But even then, right, in general content for existing global stuff, he's decently high, right? It's not super high, but at least for general content, you know, that's where he stands, right? And then anyone else? Oh, this character Rico was actually, for some reason she's not here on the global side, which is a little bit odd. Not too sure why, but basically Rico here, you know, she's actually a pretty good character for a navigator, so that's pretty good. She might be free. I think she's free, right? I'm pretty sure they mentioned that she was a free character. Yeah, she's free. Another free character basically, so that's cool. So she's another great character for general content. Leo does fall off a little bit, but he's still pretty good for the most part. And yeah, you know, like there's a good chunk of characters that still are pretty good. Morgana falls off pretty roughly. Lufei, my bad, falls off quite a bit. And then Yao Ling falls off really badly, and so does Miyu here. So these two characters fell off horribly because they were pretty high up, and they fell off really bad. So was Kaio. Kaio also fell off really horribly for general content, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, so basically, good long-term characters that you probably would want to try and go focus more on is On, really good. Riku, which I think we should be able to get, but I'm not too sure, but she's a good character. Liu's still pretty decent, it's not too bad. And then of course Joker is the, you know, decent option, still surviving. Seiji's also same thing, kind of surviving a little bit. But that's kind of about it, like in terms of characters. So, like the only one that really like stands this test of time so far is like On here. She's the only one that's still like kicking. So that's pretty interesting. Honestly, she might be the one I pick up from my when I reroll or whatever. But we'll see. And then for bossing, what are some characters that kind of, let's see, any characters that changed? Okay, so Shun is still good for bossing, so that's good. Ryuji is still good for bossing as well, so he fell off for general content, but he's still really good in boss content, so that's good. Anyone else here? Leo's still pretty good for bossing, and then Joker fell off quite a bit. Was he good in bossing? Yeah, so Joker is currently like one of her better boss characters, but in C and he kind of falls off a bit more because he's more of an AoE character, right? But he's still not too bad. He's still there. And then I think that's for the most part. That's basically about it. Yeah, so Leo's still kind of good for bossing, right? Just still good for only for bossing at that point. And then yeah, and then everybody else. So basically, there's the characters you probably don't really want to, I guess, focus too heavily on. I mean, the beginning game doesn't really matter, right? Because all these characters will come out later. But just letting you guys know that, hey, some of these characters might not last for too long. Yeah, Link's not gonna last for too long. Lufel's not gonna last for too long. Seji's not gonna last for too long. Morgana's definitely not gonna last for too long. Kyoe and Miyu's not gonna last for too long either. But of course, I think these two characters are probably fine for focusing on in the beginning. But then characters like Yao Ling might still be worth going for, but eventually they're gonna kind of fall off the cliff, you know. So just keep that in mind, guys. But yeah, you know, hope that helps you guys out. Also, real quick, I would really appreciate you guys drop a like, comment, subscribe would really help me out. And yeah, you know, I know it's kind of like all over the place. Let me know in the comments down below if I should do anything differently. Like maybe if I should try to go more in depth in their kits, maybe, as to like I see the reasoning as to why some characters are where they're at, right? But I'm just gonna go in general stuff like, oh yeah, this character's like an AoE character, this character's like a single DPS character, like for bosses and stuff, right? That's just kind of what I'm focusing on. But yeah, let me know if you guys think I should do anything a little bit differently that you guys are more interested in, you know, seeing for these characters, right? Of course, I'll be making videos most likely, like going over each individual character, specifically like a new like limited character. So like I'll probably make a video going over Joker if he's like the first limited character, as to what he does, what makes him so good, and then maybe seeing like as to why he maybe fell off. So that'll be something that'll probably be coming out when the game does launch, and you know, maybe other stuff as well that I can't think of at the current time ahead. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm heading out. So peace and take care, everybody.